Hello friends. I had some viewers who requested that I make a video showing how to make some ribbon rosettes and flowers. So I went out to the craft cottage and whipped up this little video for you. So here's your midweek video and let's make some roses. We're going to start out with this ribbon that I got at Sam's Club. It's about a 1.5 inch wired ribbon and it's two-faced. So you really want a two-faced ribbon. We're just going to bend it over like you see toward yourself, like you saw me do there. And then just going to roll it 2 or 3 times. Don't poke yourself with the wire like I did. Just roll it a couple of times until you get a little cone like you see me doing there. And then once you do that, you're going to start rolling it backwards. You always want to go away from yourself. It may not always feel right, but always go away from yourself and then twist. Twisting with your right hand, holding down at the bottom. Folding with your left hand, twisting with your right hand. Always going back away from yourself and then pushing it up. Now, you can add hot glue each time you go around to that top little ledge. I'm going to show you right here, right there. You can add some little hot glue in there each time you go around. I like to just keep working and then go back in and add it at the end. But I'm going to show you as we do this how to do it both ways. So just keep pinching at the bottom. You don't want to keep this ribbon, you don't want it to go down or you're going to have a big fat rose going a long rose. We want a flatter rose. So we're going to keep this ribbon closer to the top. So it's like a little rosebud. See how I'm holding it down at the bottom. Now when we get to this point, I'm going to hold the top and the bottom. See how I have my thumb on top and my finger on the bottom? And then I'm just going to keep turning that away, twisting it away from myself, turning it with my right hand, twisting the ribbon with my left hand, turning the rosette with my right hand. It's starting to look like a rosette now. Now, I'm not putting glue in there right now. This is how I do it, and I just do it until I'm done. You can see I'm holding that bottom piece right there, and that bottom piece is not getting longer because that twisted part right there that I'm twisting away from myself, I'm keeping up at the top. I'm not putting it down at the bottom. It's getting a little bit hard to hold, so I'll just go ahead and put some little hot glue in there sometimes if it gets hard to hold. And then just press it together, let that glue cool off, and then we'll move on. Away from yourself, keep twisting. I am going to speed it up here shortly, so it's not quite so. I think I just sped it up. Okay, so we're just going to keep twisting it away from yourself, holding that bottom piece. I'm telling you, just hold that bottom piece down there because we don't want it to get long. Otherwise, you're going to have a long stem rose, and that's not what we're going for right here. And that right there where I showed you on that ledge is where we want this ribbon to sit. And you can go ahead and stick your glue right there on that upper ledge, on that outer part right there, and then just twist. And you see as I get up closer to the top how I'm twisting it a little tighter. That way where I have that outside, the outside petals. So just keep twisting, 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 holding it down, doing it away from yourself. I know I'm just saying it over and over, but this will help you to remember when you get ready to make one yourself. And then when we get to the end, we're just going to glue. Well, I had some ragged edge right there, so we're just going to trim that ragged edge off. If you cut yours properly to start with, you won't have that. And then we just glue that little piece to the back. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then you just glue it to your project. Now, if you did it like I do and you don't glue it all the way around, then you go back in and glue in all your layers. Go in between all your little layers and put some glue. I guess I kind of do it both ways. Sometimes I add some glue if it gets hard to hold, and then I go back in and add the glue. And this is what it looks like. It's ready to go into a project. Okay, this rose is more of a rose with a stem, but you're going to fold the ribbon just like I'm showing you here. I don't really know how to explain that. You're going to fold it just like that. We're going to make a square. We're going to have a square in the center of this. So we're going to just make a square, fold it you kind of flip the ribbon up. Watch, I'm going to flip it up, and that square in the center, you want that inside edge of that ribbon to stay with that square. See how that bottom piece of that ribbon is square with my inside square? Right here I get a little bit off because I didn't keep it square. No, it's on the next round. I'm just keeping that inside piece of ribbon, edge of the ribbon square with my square in the center. It's kind of more of a rectangle, but we're going to call it a square. Right here's where I kind of got off. I have it, see it's not straight, it's not square. Did you catch that? So now it's not lining up. So I have to go back, see, I have to straighten it up. Do you see that? It's just off a little bit, and sometimes that little bit can matter. So look, I've got to get it, straighten it up, Kendra. There you go. And then get it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want that to be straight up there so that they all kind of line up good. And you just keep going around. You can do this with a long ribbon or as much ribbon as you want, depending on how full you want your flower. I'm just making a small one as an example. See your layers right there? Okay, so this top piece we're going to feed down into that hole. Now, I'm feeding it between my fingers, just a little piece of it, not very much. Okay, and then we're going to hang on to that tail over there, and we're holding this down. Now we're going to twist that between those fingers like we're winding up the little ballerina in the jewelry box. Okay, it's a music box. We're just going to twist and twist and twist and twist. And I'm not holding it so tight that those petals don't turn. Also, don't pull. I'm telling you, don't pull that piece that's in between your fingers, or it won't work. Just keep twisting it. And then look, voila, you have a rose in between your fingers. You just have a rose there. Then we're just going to take that little tail right there. I like to fold mine down, that raw edge down on itself, like that. The wired part helps if it's wired. And then just put a little hot glue on it and glue it, just glue it down. This is some thin burlap ribbon, so I'm going to, get my finger protector. And then I'm going to take some twine. Well, I'm going to fluff it up. Let's fluff it up. You can pull that wire out and make the petals stick out a little bit more, and fluff it a little bit if you want to. Don't pull on it too much, but you can like turn them out a little bit. Then I'm going to take some jute twine, and I'm just going to glue it wherever you want to start it. I just picked a spot, and then I'm going to just wrap that jute twine around to give it a stem. You could use some of the green jute you can get in the garden section at Dollar Tree. I did one with some ribbon that turned out really cute. You'll see it in the end reveal. But I just added a little hot glue, did this just like we wrap everything in twine. We are twine wrappers around here. So just wrap that around there and glue it down. Cut it off and glue it down. And if the fuzzies on the jute twine drive you nuts, I'll just light it up. We don't want to catch anything on fire, so use fire safety. But this is how our little rose turned out, and it's ready to put in your project. Thank you so much for joining me with this video today. Be sure and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. But most of all, remember to be still and know that He is God.